Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Jea and JP's vidcast, a series of video podcasts designed to
disrupt
your current ways of thinking and breathe new perspectives into your life.
This is an extra special week in our vidcast journey. It is our 52nd vidcast. So as we celebrate 1 year later, we want to revisit the why we started, our greatest lessons learned in this journey, and then, wait for it at the end, make an extra special announcements. So JP, why did you say yes to this wild idea when I said, I think we should capture a lot of these things we're talking about and see if we can disrupt people's thinking? What made you say why to that crazy idea?
Well, number one, Jay and I are very close and she's a very special friend to me, and I thought to myself, well, that's a big why. I want to do an awesome project with someone who is so close to me and we care about each other so much. But I think that beyond that, there's a big why in my life to spread joy and to stop toxic cycles of thinking. And I really wanted to bring that to our project, and that was really one big opportunity to kind of root myself in that to achieve my why through doing this project with you. But what was your why?
For me, I love and find the greatest joy when I'm creating. And so I really wanted to have routine opportunities to create with someone who I cherish and love and adore working with. And that was probably my number one why, is I knew Building Brilliance 2.0 was gaining distance. The bigger my dream got, the further I wanted to get from it. And I knew I needed to dive in. And I also love working with you and really wanted to support you in achieving your wildest dreams and be able to see whatever it was that you were going to create come to fruition. I love that about living and working with others in the world.
So we have our why, so what were some of your lessons learned?
So, greatest lessons learned. I'm not sure if this was just over the last year or if it was maybe over the last 2 to 3, but somewhere recently have been some really powerful lessons that I've learned. And one is to wake up and choose to be a moving train. And that is a definition I created when working for the state of Colorado that I defined as an individual or organization who is highly motivated to lead, inspire, and elevate our profession, and in this case I could say the world, by doing good work that's good in quality, good for the soul, and good for the world. And I want my life to be led and driven by doing that kind of great work that's good for my soul and that's good for the world. And then the biggest lesson that I think I wish my younger self knew is that you are the author of your life. Whether that's you're in the driver's seat or whatever analogy or metaphor works for you, but to really realize you're writing your life story each and every day in each and every choice that you make. And to write a really good, exhilarating, extraordinary story. And I think back to the moments in my life where I didn't know that, and I felt like my circumstances were determining my path or my destiny, and now I realize that's absolutely false and led me to probably some of the worst decisions I've made in my life, looking back.
Yeah.
So having this empowered stance of self-authorship allows mistakes and challenges to come my way, and I realize I'm in charge of how I'm going to respond right now. I'm going to respond in a way that brings me the least pain and the greatest joy, and keep it really simple. I mean, I've had a lot of issues arise this past summer that have been like tire issues, home issues, things that cost a lot of money to repair. And I think to myself, gosh, those were really expensive mistakes, and I could beat myself up and get upset and get frustrated or get angry, but that doesn't bring me any joy.
Right.
So I choose to adopt a perspective and a mindset that does. And part of that's because I'm very tied to the story that I want to create for my life and not letting those circumstances determine who I am. And those are huge lessons.
Yes, they are.
That I think back and go, gosh, I really wish I would learn that when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, anytime before my 30s. Gosh, how different life would be. What do you think have been some of your greatest lessons learned that you'd like to share with our audience?
I think there's one, and I think of all the times that Jay and I had to coordinate these vidcasts, coordinate topics, coordinate schedules. I live 45 minutes away from Jay, and so we had a lot of that. And throughout this entire process, my lesson learned is to embrace the journey. And again, I can just talk about that in the context of our vidcasts and say the scheduling, the coordination of the topics, the video recording, that all, I can embrace that journey. But I think bigger than that, I think we all have a journey to embrace. And that is our own personal journey. It's a journey of finding your identity. It's a journey of finding healthy ways of living. It's a journey of finding joy. And I think that we all just need to remember that we are alive, that we have this wonderful opportunity to create something not only wonderful for ourselves, but wonderful for our families, for our communities, for our workspaces, and to embrace that journey, to take it, to say, I am here. I am someone who not only is loved, because you are loved, but that I can radiate love into the world, and to embrace that opportunity. And that was one of my biggest lessons learned through this whole process.
That is so beautifully stated. So with that comes our big announcement. In the spirit of seeing a project through to the end, and taking time to celebrate accomplishments and what we've achieved, and pivoting to the next phase of our goals, this will be our final vidcast for a while.
Yeah.
You never know what this journey of life will bring, but this is our final episode for what we're calling season 1, and that's because we don't know what the future holds. JP, what might people find you working on next week when we're not on camera?
Right? I'm done with my second book. I have my prototype, and I will be launching it. And in the spirit of my why for my book, to help people find joy and to break the chains of denial, I really am going to start using more SMART goals to position myself to have my book out there to help others. And that's what you'll be seeing me doing, hopefully speaking more, talking about my book, talking to others about my book, talking to people about denial, the cycle of denial, what that looks like from not only a personal perspective, but a psychological perspective. That's what is next for me. And what about you, Jay? What's on your docket?
I'm going to be designing courses. So a lot of the things that I've been reading about and researching, I want to turn into courses to help people nurture themselves and live and lead brilliant lives. And my biggest, kind of most immediate goal is to create a seminar that will be just an extraordinary transformative retreat that I will host next summer. So I'm giving myself that specific time-bound deadline to be smart about it. And I also have a couple books that I'm working on in the making, so I want to be using my time to move those forward to publication so that those ideas can be disseminated to broad audiences as well.
So, we know that we have our typical sign-off, but I do want to add one thing. This isn't goodbye, but it is.
Until later. With that, go out and shine love and light into the world and radiate brilliance.
Take care.